Hey everybody, so I'm back to talk about pricing. And the reason this is incredibly urgent that I get in front of you is I just had an SOS email from a client who has just bought a big agency pack and she's about to establish pricing, and she saw my video talking about, between $99, $249, and then a $399 package. And she has already pitched $999 as a median price with a 6-month minimum contract to her existing clients. And, she's wondering how to manage getting people backwards. Don't do that. So let's talk a little bit about like what the pricing is that I'm proposing and what that's meant to do, and the pricing that you might want to pitch, something more appropriate for your situation. So let's talk about what those different situations are and where you think your prices might be. Let me first start by saying we picked our pricing based on creating penetration pricing, meaning what is going to penetrate the market with almost no intervention, no personal selling, just relying on Google ads and Facebook ads. Being able to have a brand that nobody's ever heard of, be able to get business from somebody who's looking to either fill a full-time position or fill an agency position, or just looking for a consultant. But for the most part, taking people who are looking to hire somebody is the idea, and converting them over, because the market's so tight right now, they're probably not going to find anyone, giving them an alternative at a pretty low price point that really catches their eye. So you've heard me say a couple things. One is I want you to sell high. Start on the high end. Using that penetration pricing model, start at the $399. And I still very much believe in that. If you are in touch with the person, that's what you want to pitch, the higher end of the market. And we are proposing a low point of $99 for the penetration pricing, and we'll get into the premium pricing soon, depending on your situation. But the $99 is a fallback. So start with the high package, then move to the low package, kind of backpedal your way down if they don't have the budget for that. Some people will say, whoa, your top plan is exactly what I need, and it's well within our budget, let's do it. So that's why I like you to start there. But I also want to mention that with penetration pricing, with nobody knowing who you are, you've never done this before, and you're just trying to break into the market. Maybe you're even I know a lot of you have jobs, and you've got kids that you need to care for, and you don't want to just quit your job. And I encourage that. Wait, don't lose your job over something that you're going to run as a side hustle for a while. So there's nothing wrong with that. In that case, you are probably going to want to run some Facebook ads because you don't have time to go out and do personal selling. You're going to run some Google ads because you don't have time for personal selling. You can't go knock on doors unless you do this in the evening after your work or on weekends at local shops around town. And we'll get into that method. If you're willing to hustle, that's a great way of doing it. But a lot of you want, you're looking to become digital nomads. You want this to be as close to Robert Kiyosaki's passive cash flow dream goal as possible. And this can be a passive cash flow business where you are putting in minimal effort, using automation to generate big results from minimal effort. So those are my caveats, and that is what I had intended when I was proposing the pricing from that page that I showed you. The agency CRM is coming out soon, and then you'll all get a copy of that page when you sign up for the agency CRM, and you can tweak the pricing to whatever you want. So let's talk a little bit about which factors would push your pricing up. I don't think anything should push them down. I don't really care where you are in the world. We've got people in Hungary that are looking to do this, where your local market is used to a little bit lower pricing, and right now things are really depressed. It sounds like the economy just isn't where it used to be. So my response to you is don't sell in Hungary. Sell in UK. Sell in the United States. Run your ads here. It doesn't matter. You can run this business from anywhere, and you can attack whichever geographic marketplace you want. I already told you to pick a niche. That niche doesn't have to be geographically based, but I love the idea of picking a niche and going after it. And that segues nicely into which factors would increase your pricing above the $399 top price point that I was talking about in my previous videos. So let's say you pick a niche where people have deep pockets and their expectations are just higher. Taking the example that I gave at the start of this, they've already quoted median pricing of $9.99. That means their top package is even more than that. And they're wondering what people think, if they're going to trust her if she charges less than that, like only $399 in her business. With her being where she is, it wouldn't make sense. People would actually be skeptical. And we'll talk a little bit about her, like reasons why she might be feeling that way. But the first thing is, let's keep this focused on the niche. So if the niche you're looking at is used to paying a lot more money for an individual who's going to be in a role doing social media for them, or if they're used to paying for higher caliber agencies, agencies charge a lot of money. It can easily run $250 an hour for everything. The creatives, the people that do the Facebook ads, everything, they very routinely charge $150 to $250 an hour. If they're used to paying that in your particular niche, where it's a very professional business, maybe politics are involved, so the stakes are really high. Things like people are used to paying a lot of money for fundraising because it's a very competitive niche. So if you're in a very competitive niche, the realty game is very competitive. There's a realtor, on every other block, there's somebody who is really focused on becoming a really top realtor in their area. So competitive niches, they're used to paying higher prices. You can probably go above the $399 price point. Geography, if you're in Manhattan and you're focusing on that niche, you'd be crazy to go in at $399. Those people are used to overpaying for everything just because the local real estate is extremely inflated. You do have to look at what the price per square foot is for a residence or a business in that area. If things are extremely inexpensive, that usually translates into lower service costs for agencies in the area, and people just can't afford to pay as much. So that's another thing to look at, is the geography you're targeting, not where you live, but where you're targeting. The other factors that might increase it are brand recognition. If you have an existing audience that you're going to be going out to, and this is just an additional line of work or line of service that you're going to be offering to an existing established market that you're already in, 100%, you need to charge more. No question about it. You've already established trust. That's like 80% of the game. So where trust already exists, you need to increase your price, because you don't want people to think that you're worth less if you're already charging them a lot for some other service. I don't care if it's a CPA service or if you're doing other kinds of marketing services for them. We even have one guy with a great marketing plan. He has a SEO training program, and he's looking to do this as something where, all of his students, he's going to give each one of them a workspace to use during the training program. And after a few months, when the training program's over, they have a choice. They can either keep paying for the software and have access to him ongoing, or they can just leave it and then he'll delete it and reissue that to the next round of students, just to start making some ongoing revenue off those students who would otherwise be gone. So there's a number of things that you could have an established trust with somebody where you could actually go back out to them with this offer as more of an upsell or a cross-sell of different services to an existing established market. So that would dramatically increase the price. See, other things that might increase the value of what you're offering, let's say brand. If you have a brand that's already recognizable in the market that you're going to be targeting, if you're in the real estate game and you already have a real estate software business that helps people generate quotes or generate contracts, well, it stands to reason that you can charge a lot more because they already know you, they already trust you. Anything that would establish existing trust is going to increase the average price. So I know that a lot of you are really chomping at the bit to go. I'm going to get trainings out as soon as I can. If you have questions like this, if you're looking to get started before enough of these trainings roll out, before you have a complete picture, feel free to reach out to me in advance. I encourage you to get started earlier. This is not rocket science. A lot of the, like I said before, a lot of the secret sauce is baked into the platform, and there's just a few little decisions you're going to need to make before you launch, and pricing is a big one of them. So my focus on training will be in the very early stage areas that you're going to need to make decisions on as you launch this business. And then the trainings will kind of progress more into like how you actually run this once you get the clients. So reach out to me if you have any questions. I hope that helps you establish pricing.